Hello there and a very warm welcome to another edition of Channels Beam. I am Victor Matthias. Now, after years of pushing for the inclusion of young people in Nigeria's political space, the Not Too Young to Run bill was assented to by President Muhammadu Buhari. However, concerns have been raised over what will qualify a young person to seek elective office apart from being within the bracket of those termed youths. On this episode of Channels Beam, we will be looking at how ready young people are to make good use of the opportunity presented. But let's first see what made the headlines in the past week.
Mixed reactions trailed the unveiling of the name and logo of the proposed new national carrier by the Minister of State for Aviation, Mr. Hadi Sirika. The carrier, scheduled to begin operations by December, will replace the defunct Nigerian Airways, which stopped operation in 2003. A few top banks have been entertaining Nigerians all weekend with swinging jibes on the social media platform. One of the banks tweeted a photo in which it tacitly capited a few prominent others without mentioning their names, and that generated a lot of reactions from Nigerians.
Well, there you go. Those were the trends in the past week. But joining us to look at the topic of the day, we have Pt.1 sits by my immediate right. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you.
And we also have Ibukun Adeni. Thank you as well for joining us on the program.
Thank you for having me, Victor.
So let me just start with you. I mean, you saw some of our trends, one of which was Nigeria Air. I mean, how excited are you about this new airline Nigeria is floating?
Personally, I'm excited, because it's good for me. But the reality of the situation is it's a case of misplaced priorities. It reminds me of a case when I was in university and imagine a student in university and he has friends that his parents are very rich. And because they are rich, he comes from an humble background. He now takes his school fees and he goes and he buys a car because all of them has a car. We have bigger issues. We should be focusing on education and so many things. Nigeria Air
instead of an airline.
Yes.
I mean, don't we have some of those things already in place?
Education.
Yeah.
Education right now is failed. Is failed. Is zero.
Oh well, that's a topic for another day. But we'll come back to that another day. Let's just look at what we're looking at today. Beat, let me come back to you. I mean, that constitutional encumbrance that has been in place, for young people running for office, has been to a significant extent removed. But how ready would you say young people in Nigeria are to run for elective offices?
I think young people are very, very ready to run. Like myself, if somebody asks me, are you ready to run? I always answer them, I'm not only ready to run, I am ready to make Enugu great again. Young people are ready. But the problem is that people are not listening to the youth. They are still listening to those people that have dealt with Nigeria. For me, it's not about being a youth or being a young person. It's about competency. And you cannot tell me that competency is restricted to any age group.
Bracket.
So you can get competency among the youths, you can get it among the old people. If you look at Nigerian history, you find out that youths have failed, youths have also excelled. Old men have failed and they have also excelled. So
it's a two-way thing.
Yeah, it's a two-way thing. What I want Nigerians to be talking about is we have come out of this age problem is a problem that should not be there. We have come out of it now, but let us not dwell in it. Let us go and look for competent youths.
Who would run for office?
Yes, because you find out that a lot of people now come out, not because they feel that they can do anything, not because they feel they have change to bring, but because they think they look like youths. They now say, vote for me, I'm a youth. That is not it.
Let's get to hear from Ibukun. What do you think about this?
I equally agree with him. For me personally, the youth come from an internet generation, the generation where everything is faster. The way we have access to information now is 10 times faster than the older generation. So if you have a youth that has his head in order and has the wits, it would outperform any old. We need the older people for guidance. They have the experience.
So in other words, you think there should be a merger?
There should be a merger. We need a government with inclusion. The current government doesn't reflect the true state of the Nigerian people, where the youths are more. So I feel like the older people cannot understand the youth. If you're 70, you can't really understand what it means to be 30 years old. So we need the younger people in. There needs to be a government of inclusion.
So, moving forward, because Bede raised the issue of, competence.
Yes.
How competent are Nigerian youths? Because, like he said, some have failed and some have excelled. But at the same time, if you look at the statistics of, let's even look at those who were young people who were governors. Let's look at Nigeria from 1999. You still have some of those people who were young as at when they, became governors in 1999. They still have cases 20 years after. 19 years, so to speak now. They still have cases of corruption, looting, and thereabout. Is there any change? Is there any change in perception, so to speak, that we would see henceforth?
There will always be. It's always going to be a mix. There's always going to be good people and bad people, whether in any party, in any age demographic. But the most important thing is, as a youth, we have the new mindset. We've created industries on our own. The entertainment industry has been generated without any government in there. We have outperformed. If you look at the youth in general, we have created various industries in technology, in entertainment, and in Nollywood, everything. The youths have created vast industries without government intervention. So I feel it only makes sense. It's a no-brainer for these youths to also be able to bring that performance, which we have put in other industries, into government.
Do you think it's the same ball game, because governance seems to be a lot more different than running a private entity, running the entertainment industry, the technological sector, which of course you have a lot of young people that have done marvelous and great things, but governance seems to be another ball, a different ball game entirely.
Yeah, I think there is a difference between running a private company and running a government, because of the red tapes and all the things that you have to take into cognizance when you are talking about government. But I feel that if somebody can do well without too much help from the government, I always feel that history tells us that that person will perform when he comes into government.
If you say history, can you make mention of?
You see many people that have done well, like even those who are not youths, like for instance, Trump. He did well as a businessman.
No wonder you're going by his slogan.
No, it's something that my slogan is something that we need to do in Enugu State, because we used to be great when we had companies and very good schools, but after some years of mismanagement, everything went bad. Now I'm bringing a roadmap that we will use to make Enugu great again. Whether Trump had that or not, we would have had something similar to it. But thank God, there is another person thinking the way I'm thinking. So
some would say it's the other way around.
Yeah, everybody, you have right to think whatever you want. But what happens in this world is that truth is relative, wherever it is told. It's just like what I was telling him when we were about this not too young to run.
Yeah.
I talked about this in 2015. In fact, the senator I told about it didn't take it up. And now on the 26th of January 2016, I messaged a senator about the same thing, and he didn't take it up. And then some people did it in 2017. Now, if I start talking about it, people will say I'm copying what they are saying, but actually, I had it.
You had it, but you just didn't follow it through.
Yes,